Russia in goal is Hopov. He's from Spartak Moscow. Normally there's 4 players from Spartak Moscow on the team, but not today. Probably the most well-known player, Serhii Gorlukovich. He played on the '88 Olympic team, the 1990 World Cup team as well, and he plays now in the Bundesliga for Bayer Leverkusen, so a big-time defender for the Russians. In the midfield, don't be confused, number 5, Dmitry Kuznetsov. No relation to Oleg Kuznetsov, one of the all-time great defenders for Russia. Some great speed there. Popov will get into the attack. He's a good left-footed player. You look at the forwards, Boroduk, number 10, is the captain today, but Radchenko, if you remember when we saw them play a year ago, what a show he put on for us. He's one of these guys that's faster with the ball than he is without it.
He's a gifted player. I'm sure we'll see a lot of him today. Now for the U.S., they go back to Tony Meola in goal.
Meola is the captain today. He'll be leading the team. In front of him, a very familiar back four that we've seen for the United States. Lalas on the right with Lapper and Armstrong in the center, and Jeff Agus going down the left side. In midfield, there's a different look here. Tom Dooley, in support of him, is Mike Bёrns, getting his first real chance to start a game and see what he can do in support of Dooley. Dooley, probably the most important player to the U.S. team, coming forward from his midfield slot, making those up-the-gut runs. Just a great player. And the U.S. team, a different look today, pushing 4 players up, although expect number 8, Dominic Kinnear, to drop more into midfield. But Joe-Max Moore will be the target player. Jones and Henderson, who's an Everett, Washington native here in front of this big crowd. Chris Henderson will be playing on the wing as well.
Bёrns will be playing, by the way, for Mike Sorba, out with a slightly strained medial collateral ligament. He injured his left knee against Switzerland. It's too bad for Mike because he had been playing very well in support of and beside Thomas Dooley. Russia taking on the United States. The kickoff coming up next from the Kingdome in Seattle. Make sure you stick with us. Knocked back to Lallas. U.S. maintains possession. Headed by Bёrns. Joe-Max Moore with a flick. The shot from Dooley goes high. But a good opportunity. That's 4 or 5 passes that the U.S. strung together.
Exactly, a good sequence as we look at Bora Milutinovic. He's got to be happy with the pressure that the U.S. team has been able to put on the Russian back four. That chance there, a difficult one for Thomas Dooley because the ball does hop up rather high.
Mike Bёrns, number 4, giving it up on the far side. Kobe Jones looked like he was going to have some space. Joe-Max Moore, the shot, but it was right at the goalkeeper Hopov. After all that, it's unfortunate that Joe-Max Moore couldn't have given more of a tester at the goalkeeper.
His first touch, not quite what he wanted it to be. He controlled the ball, but he didn't have it out in front of him. Again, Henderson was a danger at the back post. I'd like to see the U.S. team try to put the ball to the other side. But a great ball. Look how much time Kobe Jones has, and he does wisely, cuts it back. And look at Joe-Max Moore, how much time he has. But his first touch, the ball hopped up on him. We don't see Henderson. He's outside of number 7 there. Had, on the last 2 plays, had the U.S. team able to swing it out to Henderson, he might have had a great chance. But there's that first touch by Joe-Max Moore.
In the middle of the field, either side, he'll get there.
Good freelance attacking midfielder.
Good ball, and a late flag. You had your flag. Of course, there's a shot taken. I don't think Meola touched it.
And I don't know why it was late. The guy was offside the whole time by at least 3 yards.
You immediately put your hand up, and then about 3 seconds later, intercepted. Kobe Jones with that great speed, accelerating on the AstroTurf. He got it back off a deflection. Jones for Henderson behind the defense. Henderson shot it wide.
Well, I called for it. That's the one I'd been looking for because Henderson appears to have the speed and pace out on the left side to get past his defender, but the U.S. had not brought the ball to his side as of yet. But this time, Kobe Jones does see him, puts the ball over the top of the back, and there's a racing Chris Henderson straight onto it. A good first touch. He really gets a hold of this ball, but it's just a little bit off target at the far post. Another chance here, and that ball drops in beautifully in behind the right defender onto Henderson's run, and he knows what he wants to do with it. He just wants to jam it into the far side netting.
All set for the free kick. Kinnear and Joe-Max Moore. Long shot. He never moved. He never moved.
That was a laser beam.
Yeah. He never moved, the goalkeeper. Hopov.
About 3 or 4 guys just patted Joe-Max Moore on the back, because I'll tell you what, there's some power. Look at no spin whatsoever on that ball. It must have missed by 5-6 inches. No movement at all by Hopov, the goalkeeper. He never saw it. That thing.
Kinnear overlapping him. Henderson with a bender.
Whoa.
Hopov makes a big save. That ball had something going for it.
Well, no goals yet, but we're seeing some heavy, high-velocity shots by the USA attackers. And here's Henderson, and he's cutting inside this time onto the right foot. Gets a hold of this one, strikes it well, and Hopov, all he can really do is tip it over. He's afraid to try and just hold on to it because he'll give up a rebound. But again, a ball with very little spin. In fact, it was starting to dip. Knuckle.
From the corner, Joe-Max Moore, and it's deflected wide. That time you had Lapper and Henderson in that area going up for it.
Perhaps one advantage to AstroTurf is when you strike a ball.
For the United States, there's Brad Friedel and Fernando Clavijo to his left. Friedel was in goal last week for the tie against Switzerland. Clavijo, we may see.
He may be able to light it up.
Here's a lead pass. A chance with some daylight. Boroduke, and it's blocked by Meola. There was some holding going on that went undetected. The U.S. got away with something there.
That's an outstanding save by Meola. One of the main reasons it is because he hasn't had that much to do. Suddenly he's under that kind of pressure.
Rodchenko plays it across. Meola got it. I gave him credit earlier for one save, but he didn't actually.
Here's the first one. This is the tougher one, really, because it's down low. He has to cut the angle perfectly. He gets his legs in front of it. When you look at it, I think the attacker, who was Boroduke.
At one point, though, it was 9-1.
Yeah, late in the half, they started to come up with a few. And again, I don't want to condone fouling, but when you get to the highest levels, physical intimidation is part of it.
Rodchenko lifting it. Meola got a piece, but not all. Russia scores the first goal, and the threat of Rodchenko that we talked about at the top became very important right there.
We talked about Rodchenko's speed. He actually had a disappointing first half. He appeared to have problems with the AstroTurf because he's a player that likes to change speeds, but the ball moves so fast on AstroTurf, I think it threw off some of his deception. But this time, it's a straight run forward. There he goes. He's already taking off into the space. Now the ball played through. He's not offside when the ball's played. He looks to be at least even with Lapper, and he actually, this is more or less a lob by Rodchenko as Meola comes to cut the angle. Rodchenko's able to clear Meola, and this helps. The big bounce helps him be able to get under the ball to then put the top spin on it to get it over the top of Meola and then have it come down into the net.
That was Karneev that had made that long pass.
So you have to say it's against the run of the play. There's no question.
They're announcing it as Salenka, but it looked like Karneev. I double-checked that.
Karneev is shorter. It was not a guy as big as Salenka.
There is Rodchenko. Here's Bёrns. Long distance, and it's caught by the goalkeeper. That play with Dooley looked much worse than the replay than when I first saw it. I thought he was trying to draw a foul, but there was contact.
Well, physical play. The Russians have shown us that they're not afraid to mix it up. Here's the chance by Bёrns. He's got a little bit of time. He gets a hold of the ball pretty well. He's not really going to beat Hopov from there very often, but look at, is it Kobe Jones they're coming, or Kinnear? It's Kobe Jones. You would like to think maybe a rebound periodically would pop out from a situation like that, so the shot is still well worth it.
There's Bora Milutinovic looking a lot sterner right now. He knows what the scorebook says in terms of the way the U.S. has outplayed Russia, but not on the scoreboard. Here they come. Great speed. They've got about 4 players in there. Oh, can't believe it.
He's got 3 of his teammates screaming at him, too, because they were wide open in front. Could have gone with the pass. But he did beat the trap. Tetradze breaking through down the right side. He's not offside. The guys in the center were offside. If they get involved in the play, actually if he passes it to them, they should call the goal back because they got an advantage by being in an offside position.
Great crowd on hand here in Seattle, but it would be a real magical night if the U.S. could come back and at least get a tie out of this. Otherwise, the crowd is the only story. Here's Kinnear. Reyna. 43,000 plus. Quinn, left-footed shot. Oh, Hopov. What a first touch by Brian Quinn.
It'll come. Keep trying to free people up like Quinn was able to get free there. He struck it well with the left foot. Can hit a ball with either foot. Reyna wisely splitting the ball out wide. Quinn hitting it not quite that quickly, but striking it well with the left foot on the first time, which can fool the keeper.
Chung has come into the lineup replacing Kobe Jones, and number 17 Rahimov has checked in for Russia, and Karneev goes out after some 15 hours in the air yesterday. The Russians playing tonight, and then they have off. They'll be training though on the West Coast because they'll take on Mexico in Oakland next Wednesday, I believe it is.
February 2nd.
Lallas playing it through. Kinnear and Hopov collide.
That's good, though. Kinnear following it all the way, giving Hopov the idea that he's never going to be just having an easy save, so it may really distract him the next time.
U.S. on the steal. Chung led it too far, and then he paid the price. I thought they were going to bring it back.
Yeah,
They did. There's no advantage there.
Kuznetsov caught him just after the play. Popov, tremendous defensive performance today. Now here's a guy that can go forward, but he's been told not to today. He's been told to contain Kobe Jones, and he's come over also and supported the other defenders on the Russian team to keep what is so far a shutout for their defense.
Free kick coming up. Who's going to strike it? You've got Reyna there, number 10. Mike Bёrns, number 4.
Läpper's wide open at the far post.
We are set.
Reyna can hit him.
He'll be the man. Claudio Reyna pushing it for Läpper. Mike Läpper on the cross, far side. Lallas, he scores! Lallas!
Boy, that feels good for this crowd, for Alexi Lallas. Not for Hopov, but he had no chance. That was a thing of beauty, the entire attack, starting with the free kick when Reyna worked the ball wide out to Läpper. And look at Lallas. Hey, he slam dunks this. Here's Reyna. He fakes the shot, slides the ball up out to Läpper, who I said before was wide open at the back post. Läpper now bends a beautiful ball all the way to the back post. Look at Lallas get up and just pound the ball down into the net. And he's rewarded this tremendous crowd here in Seattle with the tying goal. There's Reyna's ball, splitting the Russian defense wide. Läpper takes a little bit of time, finds Lallas with a nice bending ball, and Lallas got up so high above the entire Russian defense and then put a great deal of force behind the header to blast it down into the net, just inside the post. Hopov, no chance, because he started out at the near post.
His 5th international goal, and believe me, he's tired, but follows it up. He's played well for the U.S. Talking about him all telecast. That's it. 3 slow whistles, but that's it. What a result for the U.S.